Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate it when you come for a visit. So today I'm going to talk to you about something. My daughter and I were taking a walk and we started having a conversation, and I said to her, I've been thinking about how we say that the French are generally pretty slim people, and I figured it out. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure you all know why the French are slim people in general, and I'm going to share it with you. But it just occurred to me that these things that I was resistant to before are actually the reasons why they are slim. You do know that or maybe you don't know, I lost about 40, 50 pounds over a 6-month period during the pandemic. I started in 2019 and I was done, like November 2019. And by May 2020, I had lost the excess pounds. And I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening with my body, why it was ballooning so much. And when I finally decided to stop the process of ballooning, I'm so glad that I did, because it changed everything, because I was pre-diabetic and had high blood pressure, and it was just very uncomfortable. So now that I'm healthier and much happier, my body is happier, and I'm able to go on 5-mile walks with my daughter without feeling winded, I'm much more involved with what it takes to have a healthy body. I don't just talk about spiritual things anymore. I used to focus on the upper things, the 5th and 6th and 7th chakra. And now I'm all about the whole body, every aspect of being human. So that's why stuff will pop into my mind, and I'll sit there and think about it. So the first thing that occurred to me about the French and why they are so slim, generally speaking, is that they eat smaller portions. Yes, they do. They have these portions that are not going to fill them up all the way to their gullet. Now, here in the United States, we tend to fill ourselves and think that it's a good thing when you have that button-popping fullness. Now, you could do that once in a while, but I'm going to tell you, in one of the Blue Zone countries, and the Blue Zone countries are countries that they've found to have people who live over 100 years old, that it's very common to have somebody who's a centenarian. That's a person who lives to be over 100 years old. They don't eat past being satisfied or no longer hungry. And that would be up to 80% full. They never eat till they're 100% full. So the French are doing something that is helping with their longevity. And it's also been found in labs that when they reduce the food that they give to the mice in the labs, and these are longevity studies, they found that the mice that were given less food, not starved, but just given less food, and the ones that could eat until they were full lived longer. Every single one of them lived longer than the ones that got nice and full. So eat until you're no longer hungry, and eat slowly, because it takes about 20 minutes for that message to get to your brain that says you don't need to eat anymore. So take it nice and slow and eat less. That's secret number 1. Secret number 2. I would say that secret number 2 has to do with the fact that the French eat fresher foods. They eat foods that are recently harvested from the farmer's market and taken in these little fresh food carts that are along the road. And what they do is they buy their food daily, or they'll buy food maybe once every 2 or 3 days. If they buy bread, they get fresh bread. And that's something that they'll just get on the way to somewhere. So things are just fresh for them, and freshness makes a big difference for the French. They love the way it tastes, and I am certain that it's good for them. Here in the United States, we have foods that are packaged, and we buy usually on a weekly basis, and sometimes we have things that stay in our refrigerator for a rather long time in our shelves. So our foods are shelf stable, and most of the time that's because we have preservatives in them or high levels of salt. The invention of preservatives was very necessary at the time that it came about, because so many of our foods ended up spoiling before they got to their destination. So putting preservatives to make sure that people didn't die of starvation was very important. Now we have much better transportation systems and there are more people that can access the food, meaning there are more towns, so they're not as isolated as we were before. So I think we can use less preservatives, if not get rid of it altogether and go to a fresh food kind of habit. If that is not a possibility, then there's also canning your own foods and preserving your own foods in your own way with things that are less harmful, that are less chemical, less damaging to the cells in your body. Because when the cells are damaged, then the tissues are damaged. When the tissues are damaged, the organs are damaged, and your blood is, struggling to provide you with nutrition to parts that are not working as well. So fresher foods has a bigger implication on our health. And I would love to see more people eat fresh foods. I know not everyone right now can afford it because we don't have a system our food system is not based on fresh food, but I would like to see us move more toward fresher food for everyone. And that would make everyone a little bit healthier. But that means that you've got to stay on top of it and buy foods on a regular basis, like every day or every 2 or 3 days in order to do that. And some people probably don't want to do that, so we'll see. But if you want to do that, I think that you will benefit from it greatly. The other thing is that the French, they walk all the time. They walk up and down the stairs to their apartments. There's not the convenience of elevators in every single building. They also rush over to their train stop. Some people ride bicycles, but a lot of people just walk to their train stop, go down to the subway. And if you've ever been to the Parisian subway, I guess it's like a New York subway, where you're just rushing with this wave of people, and you really need to know where you're going. So you're not just walking, you are walking briskly. And then you stand there holding onto the strap or maybe sitting down. Then you have to get up and go briskly up the stairs and to your job, or hail a taxi and then run into your office. So there's a lot of brisk walking on a daily basis. That is really helpful. Here in the United States, we have a lot of cars. We have homes where there are many cars in the home, like every adult has their own car. So we spend a lot of time sitting, and then we go walk over to our office, and then we sit down for hours. And we're talking sitting while working, and then getting our lunch, and then sitting at our desk and eating our lunch at our desk while sitting. And we might even wolf it down in less than half an hour. So there's a lot of that, unhealthy behavior that we have. It doesn't mean that we're bad. It's just that we have not paid attention to what's best for us as human beings. We have paid attention to what's best for our businesses, right? So we're good workers, but we need to care about ourselves as humans. The other thing that the French do is that they drink wine. Now, I'm not promoting alcoholism. I'm talking about good, fresh, healthy wine, and they get to have a regular dosage of resveratrol. The resveratrol is something that is naturally occurring in the skin of the red grapes, and that is really helpful in It's providing anti-aging properties. So between eating smaller portions and the resveratrol, the French have a 1-2 punch for reversing aging. And here's the thing though, even if you look your age, you know, more a little older or whatever, even if you don't live past 100, I think that the key is that you're giving your cells the things that they need in order to build new cells that will help you to have a healthier life. At least that's what I believe. And, you know, give your body the building blocks of healthier living. So we've talked about the wine. What else is there? Oh yeah, not only do they drink wine, but they drink coffee as well. Coffee is a stimulant, and it's also an appetite suppressant for some. It also helps get some people to get their intestines moving so that they can excrete on a regular basis. And so these things are really helpful. So the results of having coffee or something that helps to keep the intestines a little bit stimulated might get you to be more regular, and being regular is really quite helpful. So between the stimulation of the coffee and being regular, I think that that might be the helpful thing that helps the French be skinny or slim. They don't have their intestines staying filled with, impacted with food. What else do they drink? Well, they also drink spring water. The French drink spring water, which have been found to have lots of minerals, and minerals are so important to your body. We talk about vitamins, we talk about protein, we talk about carbohydrates and fats, but we forget very often how important minerals are to our lives. Extremely important for the nervous system. And the other thing is that the water hydrates you and helps keep your skin a lot more youthful looking, but it also helps to hydrate your colon. When we don't drink enough water and our colon isn't hydrated, then we don't get to go to the bathroom on a regular basis. So you notice how everything seems to be tied together, all the things that we can do. Even the walking helps with making sure that things are moving in the right direction of passing through. So you eat good food and absorb good nutrients and let the stuff that you don't need pass through. I think that's probably one of the key things to all of these wonderful things that the French do to stay pretty slim. And then finally, this is not about something that you drink or eat. This is a state of being. The French have a very laissez-faire, c'est la vie, you know, live and let live kind of attitude is what I'm saying. And because of this, although they might experience stress, we all have stress on a regular basis or occasionally, but the fact is, as a society, their intent is to maintain a level of being relaxed, being just not taking things so seriously and so hard, because they know that life is tough. And they know this from the damage that was done during World War II and other historical things that they've experienced. They know what hardship is, and that is why they focus on finding ways to allow themselves to live, let live, take a breath, take it easy. So their lunches are 2 hours long. They can take a nap during the day. They're not the only culture that takes a 2-hour lunch, and it's expected. It's considered a disrespect if you rush through your lunch and go back to work, as a matter of fact. So they have really understood the importance of what it means to be human. Here's what the science is about relaxing. When you are stressed out constantly, every single day, you have a high level of the hormone cortisol in your system. And cortisol is the stress hormone. You need it in order to react quickly. You don't want to eat, it constricts things that don't need to be in working at the moment. So you're not going to be hungry when you are fighting for your life. But what happens when you're constantly in this state of fight or flight or freeze is that it starts to build up in your system, and then you build up belly fat. So it helps to just relax. Learn how to be relaxed, not just, I'm relaxing, serenity now! That's a reference to Seinfeld. But if you can learn how to really just chill, that will really help you out. So between walking and regularly, stop and smell the roses. Do your exercises because you want to, not because you have to. People who say, I've been dieting and exercising and I haven't lost any weight. Well, if you're stressed out about it and doing it as a punishment, you're not going to lose any weight. Do it because you want to. And if you don't like what you're doing, find something that you can enjoy. Do you enjoy riding a bicycle? Do you enjoy taking a stroll? Do you enjoy kayaking? I don't know. You have to find what it is that gives you that certain je ne sais quoi, that certain joie de vivre. And you too can be slim like the French, or as slim as you can possibly be, so that you can live the most healthy life that you can live. Now, I know that I'm commonly known as a very spiritual person. I also am a very practical person. This spiritual person has to live in this very physical body. So that's why I will sometimes tell you about what it takes in order to have a healthier life. So let's keep it simple, keep it light, keep it happy, and let's keep sharing this kind of information so that we can all have more to share with each other in this wonderful, glorious life. If you like this information, click the button to subscribe and comment down below. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye-bye.